sorry about that. Okay, so um, anyway, then I've got some room to go back and forth without going over into that, other line. It just always looks better. But once I start filling in the middle, I always try and color the same direction. So if I pick this, which I would recommend, I'm going to color the whole thing, other than these few outlines, I'm going to color the whole thing this way. Because if I move and start going this way, it just doesn't look good. And it's always easier to color up and down. So I'm going to move my paper so that my hand can color up and down. Now I'm going to do a slight curve. It's not a straight line because I'm going to curve with the eye. I'm always trying to color in the same direction of the shape that I am coloring in, okay? So I'm not going all the way across. I'm just doing a little bit. So now I'm curving down a little because we're at the bottom of the eye, right? And the bottom eye curves down. So I try and go, again, match the shape that you're coloring. If I miss any spots and I have white, I go back and try and fill them in. And you're going to have to sharpen your pencil a lot for this project. So I might actually set up an electric sharpener so that y'all can do it. But here's the thing about the electric sharpener. You guys leave your pencils in there forever, and then it just keeps sharpening. And you could eat your whole pencil up because it's just going to keep... Don't leave it in there for over 5 seconds. Even if it doesn't sharpen it all the way like this, that's better, because if you get it to a perfect point, guess what's going to happen the second you start coloring? It's going to break. You don't ever want to sharpen your pencils to that perfect point. I promise you this is going to be better. Okay, so then I start lightening up. I'd press a little bit lighter. I don't press down as hard. And the reason why is we're going to slowly blend into orange, so I'm actually going to layer orange over this yellow. So I went from pressing really, really hard here to pressing really kind of medium here. Now, if there's any areas where it's pretty obvious that you've changed, go back over and blend it, which means press kind of medium hard in between those areas so it slowly goes from hard to soft. So I shouldn't see like a straight line where it all of a sudden is lighter. Does that make sense? Okay, so that looks like it's blended. Now I'm going to take the orange and very lightly, very, very lightly go over. Okay? I think I'm going to have to do more yellow. But what I'm going to do is press then kind of medium light, and I'm going to start layering yellow over the orange. Okay, to blend it better. Then I'm going to press a little harder. I'm definitely going to have to blend this, so just wait. I know it's pretty obvious. I'm going to do it first, and then I'll go back and fix. Okay, then really, really hard. In the corners, I might add some red over the top. Okay, now I'm going to start blending. So go back and make sure that it's a smooth transition from pressing hard to pressing medium to pressing light. Okay. Now I'm going to go back over with yellow, and I'm going to bleed that yellow into the orange so that it blends. Okay. And anywhere that I don't like, I go back and kind of add more. I need to go back and do another layer of orange, then go back and do another layer of orange. And then on the inside, I'm just going to do just a hint of red. There. Okay, so the one side is done. Now I need to go and do the other side. And if I don't like how, if I want to make this blend even more, then I can bring this, orange even further into the yellow. I mean, really, you can just keep working at it until you get it exactly how you guys like it. So, okay, so then I do the same thing on this side. So I start with dark, dark yellow. Then I get a little bit lighter yellow. And then I do overlapping with light orange to medium orange to dark orange. Then a little bit of red. But I'm going to go around this little spot and leave that white. Okay? So that's how I do the eye. Then let's start on the scales. In the middle of the eye, I think I've got black colored pencils. Just color that, press really, really hard with a black colored pencil, or any color if you don't want black. I've got some greens, some browns, some blues. Okay, here's the deal. I am going, every bit of this entire paper is going to be colored except for this little dot. So this lesson is going to take a while. So don't rush. This is going to be a few days worth of coloring. I'm just going to start and lay down a color like a greeny brown in between that first eyelid, that first bit of green. Okay, now again, I'm coloring in the direction the line goes. So I'm coloring with the curve, okay? Now, I'm gonna do, let's say, a darker green on the next one. I'm just layering different greens and different blues, okay? Now, let's pretend that I did this the whole way through, just for the sake of time. Okay. Now I do green with blue. So I'm gonna, when I press harder, it's darker. When I press lighter, it's lighter. So I'm gonna do lighter towards the middle and darker towards the outside. So it's gonna create a shadow where one, let's call this a scale, overlaps the other. So right on the left side where it's overlapping, this is gonna be dark because it's gonna cause a shadow, okay? So each scale is gonna kind of start like a medium here, a light in the middle, and then a dark on the inside edge. Okay, now, so medium, light, dark. Does that make sense? Now, if I want to get it really dark, let's add a little blue for a shadow on the dark inside corner. And that really makes it pop, okay? So then I keep doing that all the way around. And I'm going to do that same thing or change colors and do it on the scale. So if I want to keep the whole thing green, I'm going to be doing layering by pressing light, medium, dark with a green, and then on the darkest parts adding blue for shadow. If I'm going to do a different color, let's say I want a red dragon, I would use oranges and reds, and maybe if you can find like a maroon, like a dark red. And layering light and dark colors to make shadows. So anywhere where one scale is overlapping another, so like this scale is on top of this scale. So right here, it's gonna have a shadow because it's on top. It's gonna make this one look like it's behind. So that one's gonna be blue, right? Because that's the darkest of the shadows. So I can either do blue first and then color it over it with green, or if I want my dragon to be green and blue, I could do that. But so then I go back with my green. Oh, sorry guys, this camera's a little top heavy. So then I go back with my green, color over it, and I press really hard to medium. And the lightest is actually going to be right here where it's overlapping. And right here, it's going to be dark because that's underneath this scale. So I'm just thinking about what's laying on top of what, and anything that's behind is going to get dark. Okay, so that's behind, so this is dark. This is behind right down here, so that's dark. And everything else gets kind of medium. Anyway, I just keep doing that. It's, slow going, but shouldn't be rushed, and just think about it as like time to kind of mindlessly kind of zone out and color and relax and take your time with it instead of rushing to get something done.